My most recent video was about toxic friends, and one of the comments on it was really interesting. And to be frank, it is very true. So many of us wonder if we have toxic friends, and we're so quick to label toxic friends, but at the same time, we never take the time to take a step back and think to ourselves, are we the toxic friend? Now, hopefully you don't want to be unless you're on some stupid city boy or city girl bullshit. Just like with my other video, I need to add a disclaimer. If one of these signs matches you, does not necessarily mean that you're toxic. It could be a habit of being antisocial. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically a bad person just because one of these signs fits you. But if you go down this list and you start to realize that every one of these signs describes you perfectly, then maybe it's time to have a level of self-awareness and look at your flaws. This is going to take an incredible amount of self-awareness. However, for those who have already been on self-improvement, self-awareness isn't really that hard to come to. But the reason this is going to take so much self-awareness is because most people are just going to look at this video and say, oh, no, that's not me. That's totally not me, and just move along with their day. So be sure to watch all the way through. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
Handsome like Mr. Clean, flaming like some kerosene, fresher than some Listerine, looking like a string. Got my face when I fuck on your waist, 'cause we only have one conversation a week.
Everyone seems to have a problem with you. It seems like no matter the environment, no matter the time, no matter the freaking ecosystem, for some reason people immediately just take a disliking to you. Not in a, that person's not part of our friend group, so let's not talk to them, in more of a, this person's draining and hurtful to be around. People are always either telling you why they don't like you, or you may even overhear other people talking about how much they don't like you. And this can maybe be a way that you carry yourself. Maybe you carry yourself in a very cocky, confident, I can do no wrong attitude. Or you pretend to have a very stoic attitude, but the most little inconvenience is enough to set you off. You love roasting other people. The second someone does it back to you, that's too far. They've crossed the line. They need to learn boundaries. All of these little things are going to make people think that you're hypocritical and will lead to them calling you toxic. Now, it could just be that you're hanging around the wrong people. However, if you go from friend group to friend group and this keeps happening over and over again, this is where self-awareness comes into play. It's going to be a reflection of your own behavior. However, some people don't change because of this. They think that they're already a badass and that the people around them are just toxic. And they take to social media to preach about how much of a badass they are, which leads into directly to number 3.
Look at my face when I fuck on your waist, 'cause we only have one conversation a week.
You constantly preach about being hated on. It seems like every time you take to social media or every time you're talking to people, it's always about, fuck the haters, I'm doing my own thing, you don't need to listen to anyone. Not to say that these aren't overall bad things to incorporate into a personality, but when it's literally your entire personality, this can often be a sense of how toxic you are. People who truly don't care what others think about them don't need to constantly preach about how they don't care about what others think about them. You literally use it as a blanket from other people's critiques against you. Now, look, I'm not saying that you need to start caring about every single person's opinion of you. If that was the case, most people would freaking die immediately. However, if even people with the best intentions are trying to give you feedback and you still say that they're just coming to you with hate, then you have this clear sign. Constantly portraying yourself as a victim who no one can understand. You need to start looking inwards and find the true faults within yourself. It is the only way for you to analyze and eventually grow from those problems.
Look at my face when I fuck on your waist, 'cause we only have one conversation a week.
You have more argument days than fun days with the people close to you. Think about the last time you and your friends had a fun day together. You know, you went to the beach, or you went to an arcade, or you just went to a movie, or even something as simple as just hanging out in your room. Now, for most people, that would probably be the last time they hung out with someone. Yeah, it was like, yeah, last Tuesday we had some fun, it was all good. However, if you're the type of person where the last time you remember hanging out with a person, you argued with them, or the last time you even talked to a person that you argued with them, this may be a sign of your toxic behavior towards people. Now, this is a little bit broad, so let me go more into detail. One day, you and your buddy get into an argument for whatever reason. But a couple days later, you hash things out. Or in some cases, not even a couple days later, like no less than 12 hours later, you hash things out. Now, let's say this happened on a Sunday. the exact same thing happens on Thursday, and then the exact same thing happens that following Tuesday, and then the exact same thing happens that following Friday, and so forth and so on. And before you know it, within 1 month, you've already had like 4 to 10 arguments with your friend. Now, this could be the trait of having toxic friends, but look at who's starting the arguments. Look who's elevating them. Is it majority of the time you? And also, take a look if this is happening with all your other friends. If this is happening almost verbatim with some of your other friends, then you are probably the common denominator of a problem. Or if this is not happening with your other friends, then maybe it could be the other person. But if this is happening with the majority of your friends, then you are the toxic person. Which is leading to the #1 way that you can tell if you are a toxic friend.
Look at my face when I fuck on your waist, cause we only have one conversation a week.
Your friendships don't last that long. If you've been watching this video and up until now all 3 signs have identified you, then this is honestly the cherry on top. If it seems that you are constantly cycling through friends and you can't find someone who understands you, or it seems like everyone else is crazy except you, there is one common factor. It's you. You are the reason these friendships don't last long. This is where self-awareness is going to come into place, and this is hard for so many people because so many people want to say they're not toxic. You must take a step back and look at what is wrong. Where does the building need to take place in order for you not to become toxic anymore? Well, it's mainly going to have to do with your mental health, changing your mindset and finding solid pieces of character to put inside yourself, cutting out the toxic slime out of your life and replacing it with the pillars of a strong, foundational, honorable character, therefore making you a good person. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it to the end, that means you like this channel and you like this video. So if you're a sexy Chad, make sure to drop down right now, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to turn on notifications. Stay safe, stay smart, and start taking accountability today. Peace.
Handsome like Mr. Clean, flaming like some kerosene, fresher than some Listerine, looking like a string.